Welcome back, everybody. I don't know if live stream's going or not, but we're going. That's what's important. So we've got Cameron Attree, Mike Langford, Charmaine Hire, Hilary Han, and what's your name? Peter Rossi. Molto bene, grazie. Non parlo italiano, ma studio italiano, sì? Okay, so we've got our 5 judges and we're ready to roll. We've got Kay Davis in reserve. We are judging the illustrative category, sponsored by AZO, thank you very much. And we shall go to the next print, please. We have a score of 79, and I have Mr. Langford from New Zealand putting his hand up on 87. I shall accept your challenge, Mike. You have 82, 78, 79, 78 to challenge you with.
Illustrative category. It's this is highly illustrative. It's creative. It's using light in a totally different way. It's a technique that we know, or maybe that's why we're doing the scoring that we're doing. But it's the content of the technique that's important. It's where they're taking our imagination. And it's superior in its communication. It's certainly superior in its technique. This is the appropriate technique, the appropriate lighting, telling us the story. It's a beautiful story. It's a beautiful dance. And it's creative. It's nothing other than creative. So you can't just say it's professional practice. That's the wrong term. We need to think about how creative is this? Is the creativeness appropriate? Is the technique appropriate to express that creativeness? And I believe all of those things come together and say, yeah, this is a really successful piece of creativity. I'd like you to lift your scores.
So, Peter, the other 2 low scorers have left the table and I can't ask them, so I'm going to ask you to comment if I may.
I'm not totally convinced, Mike. For it to be as creative as you're implying, I don't see the duplication of certain shapes or very important figures to be in the interest of the free form of the subject matter. Like for smoke or fumes or whatever it is, I would imagine that it would be aqueous, it would be loose. Every smoke would be different to every other smoke, like every fingerprint, and yet they have chosen to duplicate almost completely, or in a couple of cases just slightly tweaked a shape. And so the creativity part is lost for me. I get the... I'm noticing now maybe a head looking up with praying things, giving thanks to the great creator of all fumes, but it's still not quite enough. But I'm listening still.
Cameron, you were in the middle.
I was 82. I thought the photographer's done enough to deserve a silver award. I agree with Mike. I think there's the lovely dance narrative in there. I see kind of like little puppies dancing on their hind feet like poodles or something. That's what I got out of it, and I thought that was a cute little thing that helped get me over the line. I don't have any real issues with the duplication in this situation. I think there's enough difference between the characters that it works fine. Bring it home, Mike.
Hilary, yep.
Just a quick word. I love that centre figure, and I think, yes, he was looking like he's praying or he's asking for something, and then I found the other ones that look like they're just dancing to be like, why are they dancing if he's sort of, I don't know. And that's really why I thought it was creative. That's just why I didn't come up into silver. But just a little bit.
I can help you all because that's my job, I think. When you go to a ballet, you have the prima donna ballerina, right, who does things differently from everyone else. And around that person, you have duplications of people all doing the same thing. And it's part of the dance, it's part of the performance. And I believe that middle one is the prima donna. That's the focus. And all the others are dancing around her. And if you look at it from that point of view, they aren't duplicates, they are replicants. And I believe it's really successful. So just change that mindset just a little bit and allow yourself to go and looking at repetition of shape, patterns, because they're all those things. They're graphics. So let's go.
Thank you, Mike. Judges, if you'd like to rescore. '83 Silver Award. Thank you. Thank you, judges. Next print, please. We have a score of 83, a silver award. Nope, don't want to. Nope, okay. And no, it doesn't want to change. No, you do want to change. Oh, you do. Oh, yeah. Sorry, no, I'm old. I'm old school. I was looking at you, and I thought you said no. Oh, I thought you said no. I don't want to.
Of course I want to challenge.
Fantastic. Hillary is challenging. You're on 88. You've got 2 81s and 2 82s.
Okay. This one strikes really close to home, I guess. So I immediately reacted to the emotion in this. With the semicolon, which is what a lot of people with suicidal tendencies use, and the angst in the ghostly images at the back. Someone whose outward persona is very controlled. They're obviously coping with their, I would think, studies, looking at the age. It's all controlled. They're doing what they have to do, and in the background, there's all this fear and angst and depression. And I just thought that the communication of that idea was just really powerful, and I think it certainly deserves more than just a silver.
Thank you. Who'd like to comment? Charmaine, thank you.
Yeah, I scored this a low silver, and I'm quite happy with that at this stage. I quite like the composition and the play on the colours. I didn't really feel the angst though, or anything in the image. I feel the palette is light and airy, and I don't feel the depressed sort of angst at all in it.
Mike? Thank you, Charmaine.
Yeah, I like the communication that you've done, Hillary, and it rings true for me. I was struggling to actually interpret what was going on, so thank you for that, and I'll raise my score accordingly.
Hillary, right of reply?
Yes, I see what you're saying, Charmaine, about if it was really dark, I think it would miss the point. And I think the point with so much of youth suicide and depression is that outwardly they just live these, you wouldn't even know, that they're just so normal, so it doesn't look like a dark place that they're at. And the images of her faces in the background are certainly not a happy person, and I think that's what the photographers brought to this, that we could be passing someone who is on the edge of suicide very easily.
Thank you. If we could rescore, please. Hillary's score is retained. We have an 85, silver with distinction. Thank you, judges. Next print, please. We have a score of 79. So this print will go next door for review. And Mike, quick comment, please.
I was just a bit confused about this symbology in here, and because I couldn't get it, I couldn't go any higher. Sorry.
Okay, thank you. Next print, please. We have a silver award at 80. And Peter, comment? No, we're just bang on 80. So if the entrant wanted to take it a couple of steps further, what can he or she do?
Right, I feel the lighting on the tree is not working with the light of the event. So that there's an imbalance there. So it looks artificially lit there, yet the background and the jetty aren't. And also the tone in the back there just seems a little too artificial for me. And also the swing doesn't seem to be realistically hanging. So it's all these little tiny details that add up together to just give you a little feeling of construction.
Yes.
And you're looking at the construction rather than the reason for them creating
the
this
content
story.
of the image. Yeah. Thank you, Peter. Good description. Next print, please. We have a score of 78. And Mike, I might, yes, if I could please, just a couple of pointers for the entrant, perhaps move it up.
Something that might have helped would have been the base element, the base landscape, if it had had a focus that went right through the entire image, because the other elements have got no focus point that they really live on. So if you're going to make a composite, make it so that all the focus elements all stack up.
Thank you. Okay, we'll have a quick judge change. Hilary, thanks for your assistance. Kay, I'm going to sit you down. And we'll have next print, please. Silver award at 80. Cameron, a comment. So just an 80. How's the tonality, the structure? What is?
Yeah,
what is it?
the colour palette was what really appealed to me,
Yeah.
and the sense of motion that is portrayed. Yeah, just really lovely.
Okay, thank you. Anything else that you'd like to just add, Mike? Perhaps. Okay, all right, Kay, have you got some?
I just like a little bit more density on the right-hand side. I feel your eyes going out on the top right-hand side. I think it just needs a little bit more depth to the colour.
Okay, thank you very much. Next print, please. So we've got a score of 82. And Kay's got her hand up to challenge. Kay's on 88, silver with distinction, and you've got an 82, 81, 83, and a 78. So it's currently sitting in silver, and you're on silver with distinction.
This is absolutely gorgeous. I'm looking at the imagination. What we're looking at here is a Persian rug. I'm assuming my fellow judges picked that up as well. What I guess tipped me over the line a little bit was that we've seen a lot of repetition and mirroring and all that sort of thing, but there's elements in here that are actually different. Everywhere you look, there are tiny wee little elements that are slightly different, and that's the nature of a Persian rug. They're organic. They're not. Every element is not the same, and that's what I'm seeing. And I think this has just been the photographers just created something quite different from a subject which we see often, which is the flowers, and they've actually created something quite different and brought. So that to me sits with superior visual communication, imagination, and it's beautifully crafted and printed.
Thank you, Kay. Cameron?
Thank you, Kay. I must admit I was guilty of not spending enough time looking at it from a distance and going straight in looking at the detail. So I totally missed the Persian rug kind of analogy. So that's what I guess I ended up putting my score at 78. I was thinking silver initially, but certainly listening, would love to hear a bit more discussion about this to get up to silver
Peter?
distinction.
Sure.
I think it sits quite well in silver. I don't see it is strong enough, that there is a strong enough message in basically arranging flowers to make a beautiful design. And Kay, except that there is, and I have to commend the author for it, the only thing that I can see that is out of place and isn't just a direct mirror is there is one bee on one flower. But apart from that, everything else is a twist in a twist in a twist in a twist. And it's clever, but I don't think it's silver distinction clever.
Sorry. Yep, Mike. I was just listening to Peter. I apologise.
It's okay. I think that the part that you're missing, for those that aren't prepared to go up with K, because I am going up with K, is the three-dimensional nature of this rug. It has a visual depth which jumps off the page or jumps out of the rug, and it's especially the purple flowers in the middle. It's very three-dimensional, and just using plants as the ends of the rug. I mean, it's organic. It's a very organic image, and I think it's beautifully done, very intelligent, very original. It's got everything going for it.
Okay, Kay, right of reply.
Yeah, I'm going to disagree with you a little bit, Peter. There, that I'm looking at. There's actually quite a few little elements. There's even the spacing between some of the elements is different in different areas. So for me, there's actually a lot more differentiation than just literally copy and paste of all the different elements. The photographer has very, very carefully. I mean, in terms of the lighting that's actually been used on each of the elements, that's been very, very considered to bring different depths to tone and things like that. And just, I'm just rewarding this. We're talking about imagination. Imagination is more than just a silver award. And so, I really strongly encourage you to look at silver with distinction.
Thank you, Kay. Judges, if you'd like to rescore. $86, silver with distinction. Thank you, judges. Next print, please. We have a score of 83, a silver award. And, okay, Peter, can you do it quickly?
Yes, I promise. Absolutely beautifully put together, so suggestive of male, female, yin, yang, etc., etc. The only thing holding me back from going to gold on this was after all of this beautiful meshing together and perfectly matching the bottoms into the crook of the back, is the hands. And the hands don't tell the story that the body language does. And it's a shame. And I wouldn't mind seeing it square, but that's just a personal preference. But very, very, very well done.
Thank you, Peter. Thank you, Peter. Good to see the passion. Next print, please. Okay, so we have a score of 64. Cameron, we have a range of entrants from the grandmasters trying something completely new to students perhaps who are entering the first time. This has got a below the professional standard on this occasion. What are we perhaps missing, or what can we encourage the entrant with?
Yeah, we've got a very, very simple image, which is probably a bit too simple for an awards like this, we're looking at, you know, a chair placed right dead center in the frame. There's no real story here, so lighting's kind of average as well. There's just not a lot to keep our interest. So, yeah.
Okay, a tough one, but thank you very much. Okay, we're just going to switch out judges. Craig, we're going to take over from Cameron, and we'll go for the next print, please. We have a score of 74. Mike, a comment, please?
Yeah, it's a bit plastic. Everything doesn't really. There's no aesthetic to it. Everything just feels placed.
Okay, thank you. Next print, please. Was the label done that way? Why do they do that? Funny because. Right, thank you. We have a score of 74. And Kay, a quick comment, please.
I enjoy the colour palette or the tonal range within the image, but there's no sharpness. I mean, I love the softness in the feathers, but the head and the beak should be sharp.
Some point of reference there. Okay, thank you. And if we could have the next print, please. So we're going to be going into reviews. So I guess we've got a...